Hello guys, and welcome back to End All Wars with our Eastern Entente playthrough here. Now, it's been a heck of a turn, seeing as the Ottomans just joined the war. The whole war situation has changed. As you can see right off the bat, I've used pretty much all my rail points. There's a lot of things I want to do this turn, and for once, I don't have the ability to do everything that I want to do. And that is simply because there's not enough rail capacity to do those things that I want to do. So let's try and unpack everything piece by piece here. So we are rebuilding the railroad in Kauno, Russia, after pushing von Hindenburg out with some success. Over here we have an enemy army corps kind of surrounded by two of our own. Another unknown one nearby. We don't really know what's in it. We're going to actually go off of the offense here, though. We're going to go on the defense and just kind of sit here. I don't want to attack now that this region is snow and harsh weather, now that we're in early December. I'm redeploying a lot of troops, getting them moved into where they need to go, getting some more troops over into this group that's dealing with von Hindenburg. I'm finally moving my HQ force, which is almost full. It will be basically nearly full by the time I get it over here to Kashidar, where it's going to meet up with this army corps. After it meets with this army corps, it's going to head northwest into this area that the Germans have pushed into. It's going to meet up with the two Finnish army corps, and they are going to join the HQ in forming a new sort of army. It with 3 corps. That tends to be the smallest army groups that I have, and the largest tend to be the army with 5 corps. I have a weird range, but I try to even them out. It's not always possible given the situation. You can't really go on any offensives too much. I found out why these troops didn't move because I put the army on move by rail. I did not put the corps on move by rail. So that's a bit of a wasted turn. What a shame. They started taking control of this place. What a shame. We definitely would have got them had I actually moved when I meant to. Unfortunately, I'm retarded. But we're still going to move and pounce on Cesarnowitz like right now. Hopefully 2 days from after I hit end turn. So that is going to happen. Harsh weather or not, there's just not enough troops here to really cause me a problem, I don't think. Even with my messed up situation here, I'd rather end up here, right, than stay here, personally. At least that's the way I see it. Zamosk still under attack. I'm moving this whole basically entirely deactivated group here back down to Ruska. It's only going to take 1 day on the railroad, and they're just going to sit down, retake the city, hopefully, if any of them can even do that while deactivated. The point is just to kind of plant a flag and be like, hey, look at me, I'm in the way, and not allow them to retake the whole territory while we sit across the river. These guys, I would move, but it's the winter, and if I just start letting them not use the railroad, they're going to start losing all sorts of cohesion, like what happened to these guys. They lost all sorts of cohesion because they weren't moving by rail because I'm a fuck up. And there's just too much stuff for me to manage and keep track of, even when I dedicate so much time, like 20-30 minutes per turn, just looking at things and double checking and make sure I get everything. There's still things that I miss. Like, these units are still trying to get back to Lamza. They're gonna have a slow, terrible time of it. Really nothing I can do about that. Just kind of have to sit back and wait. Since they are crippled, that is why I'm also going to be sending this one northwest in order to help deal with the Germans, because ideally, by some point, I'd love to push them back to Thorn. I'd love to capture Thorn and Elbing and keep them on their side of the fucking river. And then I could free up some units and send them south to help deal with the Austrians, which are giving me no end of problems. And then, as you see, the rest of these units are just going to stay put, because I just don't have the rail capacity to move any of them anymore. I have spent basically all my money doing one thing, and that is I'm going to be getting some more generals, 6 more Russian generals, and the reason being I finally need them. Because as you can see, I'm moving a fuck ton of units. Every little line you see here is another unit moving. Every little one of these you see right here is another unit moving somewhere. I'm taking this force, I'm moving it here. This is an entrance into the Ottoman Empire. I'm moving a different force here, and I'm having it meet up with some units. This is a kind of an entrance, not really. And this is an entrance. So there will be an army and an army corps here. There will be an army corps here. There will be an army corps here. And I'm reinforcing all of them. And we're going to dig in. We have an entrenchment level max of 2 now. I don't know when that expanded off the western front to the eastern, but it's here. And then if we take a little journey to the north, we arrive to Rostov, where I'm moving an entire fucking group here. It's got everything. It's got a full 24 required command, which is usually what an army corps can deal with. So when I get those new generals in, I'm going to send a 1 or 2 star general down here. It's going to take control of this army corps. I'm going to send it southeast to join this force. And ideally, this is all going to be one army group. And if I get a chance, I can push towards Erzurum, but honestly, we're probably just going to end up defending over here, not going on the offense. And that's where a lot of my rail points are going. Let's take a peek. Still besieging this Germany colony in China. The colonial war tends to move pretty slowly. We can see the Western Entente Japanese fleet, or one of them, moving around. And if we look at Africa, anything interesting happening in Africa? No. No, there's not. Well, one thing I did want to show you guys was over here in the Baltics. So, this entire German Navy here, which isn't even at full strength anymore, but it still has about 8,000 strength. Just because I fear someone watching this will be like, wow, look at this pussy not marching his navy out and fighting the Germans. What a waste of a navy. Now, no one said anything like that, but just in case someone's thinking of it, I want you to burn this number into your head. 7,878. It was over 8,000 at first when they were at full stats, but they're going through freezing rain and harsh weather. Well, let's go up to see what forces, naval forces, I have in this area. Where are they located at again? Was it over here? Yes, the Baltic Fleet. 1,948. That's 2,000 versus 8,000. Okay, well, let's pretend my entire navy's there. Let's go look at my other navy. Yes. 1,300. I have a strength of about 3,000 for my total navy, which is split off from each other. Even if that was together, I would not have a navy capable of dealing with this. I think they just took their entire navy and blobbed it together, quite frankly. If I combined every naval asset I had, it would not be enough to deal with this. So in case anyone's wondering why I'm just sitting back and letting my navy do nothing, this is why. Because if I move them, they die. Maybe they'll be safe in the minefields, but generally speaking, if I move them, they die. They're dead. I might as well just let the Germans suffer attrition in the water and let the Western Entente try to lure them into a battle. There's no point trying to utilize my navy right now. It's not going to work. And finally, down here in Serbia, I have actually put what armies here can go on the offensive, my corps, to try to deal with these Austrians standing in our territory, being annoying. Whatever large force was around here seems to be gone. And even if they tried to get involved, it's winter over there, but not over here. We're actually kind of good over here. So I do feel it's worth the risk to try to deal any little bit of damage that we can, especially since they don't actually have to move in order to do it. And here we have a battle. This is the battle I was hoping that would happen this turn, this previous turn, but my stupidity stopped it from occurring. Well, here we are now with the Battle of Cesarnowitz that was being attacked by a single enemy infantry division. We lost 102 units, 101 cavalry, and they lost 8,610 infantry. It seems they have taken... They've gone into the city of Cesarnowitz, which they conquered, of course, because there was nothing defending it. I didn't have any militia there to protect it. I don't have enough money to pump out militia to protect everything, and I don't start with militia protecting everything, not to mention this was formerly Austrian. It seems they're taking cover in the town. I don't believe there's a fort here. But amazing kills for what we lost, especially given my fumble in this little operation. Plenty of movement going on, of course. This army corps is still just sitting here. The one in Austria, in Sukovia. Getting sneak peeks at all sorts of things. Oh my god. We have Austrians moving up further into Poland. No definitive attacks happening at the moment, of course. That would be silly in the middle of winter. They are taking the train places. It almost looks like they've completely abandoned their siege on Zamosk. Huh. Oh, those Germans cut the rail line. Of course they did, up in the Baltics. Well, that's what I get for not attacking them, I guess. But I didn't want to risk such an attack. I think whatever Austrians were in Serbia retreated before the battle could start because they're just gone and no battle happened. Oh, they are moving into Lodz, so I guess they are still going on the offensive despite the winter. It's very ballsy. Oh, and here comes more of them. Oh, wow. Man, oh man. And I guess that'll be it for that turn. Or not. Wow! This crazy-ass bastard actually assaulted Lodz upon arriving, and he brought with him 16 tanks? I don't even think I have tanks. And what the hell are these? Some sort of trucks? I don't have tanks or trucks. What do you have, sir? Where did you get this? Well, either way, I lost in my militia garrison, my militia-only garrison defending a city with no fort in Lodz that started with 12,000 men, lost 2,050, killed 3,690. Lodz is gonna fall, okay? Let's be real. But, nice. But what the fuck kind of shit is in here? Nothing. I have nothing like it. I have absolutely nothing like it. I don't even know what to think about that. I've never seen that before. We have some kind of event here. At the outbreak of the war, French army's uniforms were geared more towards parades than the battlefield, with their bright red trousers being particularly problematic and easy for the enemy to spot. The heavy losses sustained by the French in 1914, accurate so far, led to these uniforms being replaced by a darker horizon blue uniform, and led to the French adopting the first steel helmets. It can only be played if the Western Entente has not yet researched the first infantry tech level and gives them a bonus towards infantry tech. Interesting. And that's up here, as we can see. There we go. So they are at 80% towards the first infantry tech level being finished. We are 60%, so we were ahead of them. We have 0% tank research. But so does everybody else, so I don't even know where they got this shit from. Everyone is still rank 1 in every technology, and we get the least technologies. Man, let me tell you, Portugal has been moving ever so slowly towards the Western Entente. They will definitely be in this war in a couple turns. Maybe not a couple. Maybe like 5 or 6, but they're definitely on their way to joining, which is awesome. No real progress being made in any of the Low Countries. Romania, not moving much, thankfully. Italy, slowly moving closer to the Western Entente. God, I wish someone else would join the Eastern Entente. But, no. Greece. Greece is moving closer to the Western Entente. That's nice. Would they join the Eastern Entente? Would anybody? I just hope we get more allies. So I noticed that France has 22% alignment towards rebels. And Austria has 20%. I believe this is something that's influenced by the war weariness. The longer the time goes on, the more rebels gain support. And I remember this being a huge problem. Like, this could cause you to lose the war. I know with Russia, this ends up representing their revolution, but this is how you get unaligned towards the side you're already aligned to. I don't know the full extent of the effects that this has on the war. I just know that it has a pretty good effect on the war. I'm not, again, quite sure of what all of those are. Apparently, Japan burns some, I don't know what kind of troops, but some troops have pillaged the region. I don't know if this is a land invasion or a naval one, but interesting that some fighting seems to have happened around the capital of Japan. Very interesting. Anything in Africa? Doesn't look like it. Let me check on the Western Entente. I haven't checked their main fighting stage in a turn or two. A lot of railroads being cut. Genève and Lausanne, I can't say these names, are still under the control of the Western Entente. Look at all the rail lines being cut everywhere. Lawns belonging to Germany, or the Central Powers. Martini, Annecy. Oh man, it's no good. Longwy's fallen, Bry has fallen. This whole border is falling to the Central Powers. That wasn't fallen before. I don't know what kind of terrible fighting is happening over here, but it doesn't look like we're winning. The Western Entente has gained another national morale point at least, which is good. They're up to 500,000 losses. Combined with our losses, that's a little under 700,000. The Central Powers have lost 772,000. I think the gap between our losses is widening. But definitely the Western Entente is suffering. Although I dare say they have way more to lose than we do. Even with all these losses, look at how much land power they have. Remember, our value is 100. Central Powers is now over twice what we are. Western Entente is still stronger than us despite all their losses. I don't think we're going to get any stronger, so we can only hope to weaken the enemy. But it is a shame to see France doing so badly, even with Switzerland's help, even with Great Britain somewhere around here, even with Japan being on their side. Portugal, soon to join them, won't contribute a whole lot, maybe like one army corps. So very insignificant, but oh my god! Avignon has fallen and had their rail line cut. The Germans are doing some crazy ass stuff in southern France. I've never seen this. I know the strength of France is up here towards Alsace-Lorraine, as it was in World War II, and southern France not very defended. So seeing the way this goes is really interesting, and I wonder if I could do better. But I'm not so sure about that. I wonder if you could technically play both sides at once. Why are there... What? Why is there a German army corps all the way in the south end of Austria-Hungary? I was hoping the Germans would be entirely focused over here. Why are they over here? I have enough to deal with. Can you get out of my backyard? Alright, well, we have a nice little turn here. I've done everything I'm going to do. We basically used all my rail capacity again. This army is just going to sit in Cesarnowitz. The army corps behind it, I've just decided I'm going to move it out of the area. This is already one of my strongest armies that I have. I don't need this other army corps here. I need to move it somewhere else where it could be a little more useful to me. Moving north a little bit, you can see also over here that I have a lot of militia in construction. This is all over Russia. I'm getting militia constructed and ready because right now I have the armies, I have the army corps. Everything's kind of good to go in terms of that for right now, but I've ordered a lot of militia to kind of leave to guard cities and towns behind me and around the front line, generally is what I mean, so that they can't just be sniped without a fight, so that the enemy can't just walk in and take them over. I know the AI doesn't play like this. I know a lot of players probably don't, but it allows me to move forward, for example, with this army without worrying about what's behind me. For example, if I had a militia put in all three of these towns, I could just keep moving forward without worrying at all. But I don't have that. I'm also not making. I'm focusing on defending what's on my front line before I focus on putting anything elsewhere, but this is a nice little production hub where I can get stuff ready for that. I might actually send some of this stuff down here when it's done, but I'm ordering this kind of stuff all over. I'm also keeping my maximum production recruitment policy going in Serbia. The Serbians are getting a lot stronger. I have another commander who's getting an army going. I'm putting just militias in his, because there's a limit on what and where I can order it, and I'm going to make something out of everything. I got a couple more generals as well, and I might swap things out and around if I need to. I also needed to build another supply regiment. That was expensive. And I'm also going to order some field artillery to try to bolster what these guys have a little bit. Give all the army corps at least that. We only have one true army, and that's the Serbian HQ. And he's going to get some better units. I'm slowly going to pull the militias he started with out and those that I sent him out. I'm going to give him things like Mountaineers, maybe some infantry if I get them built. I've been building Mountaineers first because these Mountaineers are actually stronger than my infantry. I mean, ideally, they would be best split around, but right now I'm just trying to get some stacks going. I don't really have a chance to organize it that, you know, min-maxi like super whatever. I don't have that capability right now. So I've just been building what I can build and slowly strengthening them. The longer the Austrians ignore them, the more of a force they become. And I'm not permanently losing anything so far, really, aside from like that one hospital unit a few turns ago in Russia. So Russia's actually going pretty well. That's why I'm building the militia instead of building more troops. I've already been building more troops. Don't think I'm not. And I've sent them around to bolster some of my front line. I needed less bolstering of a front line at this point, and what I instead needed was militia to guard my rear so my army groups would be free to do what it is they want to do, given the fact that the enemy is so prone to just, you know, doing what these guys did, going around my army groups. And this is a tactic I used in Rise of Prussia. I didn't know what would be more important at the start of this, bolstering my units or getting militia. And I think the big thing is my experience so far has been over here. And when you're over here, this is where you're pushing. It's very condensed. It's not as open. Russia's very open. There's a lot of places, a lot of ways to get around. And so I feel like militia is useful here in a way that it wasn't when I tried this game as the Western Entente like 9 months ago. So that's what I'm doing there. Over here in the Baltics, I'm using this unit to kind of repair the railroad here that was cut. I'm using this one to just sit there with him. I'm putting him on the offensive in case anyone tries to do some sneaky shit, move past me. But also because I am moving my HQ unit and an attached army corps, which will arrive in 2 days, over to Roscieni to intercept von Hindenburg, who, as we know, is not doing the greatest on supplies. I can't really see him properly right now, but I know his cohesion isn't as great as it could be. None of these are active. Well, this army corps is activated. The army's not activated, but that doesn't really matter. Since he's on the offensive, if a battle breaks out here, he should come and assist. There's a chance of it, at least. I know that. I don't want to try to send him over because it's going to take 7 days, and the only reason I'm sending these guys is because they have the ability to move on the rail. I mean, he might be able to. No, for whatever reason, it's just... Oh, no, because this rail line's cut. Yeah. I am moving this army group full stop, just full to the west to Vladislavov, if I'm reading that right. And it's going to take them like 2 turns, I think, because the leader's deactivated. But they're going to get there, they're going to retake it, and they're going to recover while they rebuild this rail line. Hopefully, in a couple turns, you know, this will all be taken care of. All these units will be unified down at Lamza. I think that's what that's called. The Baltics will simultaneously be freed. This is like looking 3 or 4 turns out. And then we can push south into Memel. We can push west into Wallau. We could probably not yet push into Lotsin, but he'll be ready anyway. That's my hope. Down here, I'm also taking these units, this little army group here, which I am reinforcing with another army group from somewhere that I had. I forget from where it's coming from, but... Oh, I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one that I mentioned I was sending out, and then I got distracted by the militias. Well, I'm sending that over here. And I'm sending these guys over here to Lodz. They should arrive in 3 days, which hopefully is enough time to get to Lodz before it falls, before this army tears it down. That's the hope. This may not go according to plan, but if I can get there in time, that means I will have that much more troops there to defend in the harsh conditions, subjecting the enemies to an even worse assault. 3 days, that's it. It will take 3 days to get there. These assaults usually don't happen at the start. It may, and then we might be just, I don't know, fucked, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it and hope that this works out. So these guys are headed down here, and, you know, hopefully that works. They're not activated, by the way. None of them. But that's fine. They don't need to be. I'm trying to take advantage of the terrain, trying to take advantage of the weather, and I'm trying to reinforce Lodz to kind of project forward. I've had no power over here in Poland for the longest time. Well, now I'm trying to finally get some power in Poland. I got another army group coming, but he'll take 2 turns, even on the rail, because he's coming all the way from the east ass end of Austria. The units of Ivangorod are going to stay put because they cannot actually take the rail into Arzen, I don't know what. If the harsh weather went away, I'll immediately start my offensive headed south because they seem to have backed off from here, and I can reclaim all this shit that they've decided to take from me. I can push my border forward. All that stuff, you know, that full frontal Austrian offensive, it's falling. You see this, guys? It's actually failing, and that's pretty fucking awesome. These guys have arrived in Rawa Ruska. There's this small unit sitting here, and I don't think it's going to actually do anything. But I'm going to set the army to attack while staying put to engage them if they don't retreat. Should hopefully deal some great damage. More than likely, they'll retreat. The siege at Zamask has stopped. I don't know if we'll automatically reclaim ownership of this. I believe we will. I believe we have done that already. So I'm not too worried about sending my troops over there at the moment. I'm more worried about what's over here. This army I am railing down just one step, not all the way down here, just one step, and we're going to reclaim ownership of this territory, staying within the supply range of Dubno. By the way, our munitions are doing fantastically. I don't know where the hell they're located. I just know our munitions are doing fantastically. I have Commander Mikhail Babik that will arrive hopefully this turn, maybe next turn, in Rostov to meet up with this soon-to-be Army Corps. It's fully equipped and ready to go. I also have a plane headed towards them. It's a plane group. I've been sending a lot of plane groups. There's a lot of things I don't actually tell you that I do, because telling you that I do all these things would take forever. We have this half of an Army Corps here. The rest of it is coming. It looks like it's going to take 2 turns to arrive, however. So we're going to leave these guys here, just in case. Reinforcements still headed over here. Reinforce this group. We have 2 groups here, an army and an Army Corps, which are on the border with this fortress. And they're just sitting here in the harsh weather, minding their business, staring down at the Ottoman 3rd Army. Where's the 1st and 2nd? You know what? I don't know. But here's the 3rd one. And it's staring at me menacingly across the border. I don't believe they would rush me right now in the middle of winter, but I've said that before and been proven wrong. So hopefully they don't do it too soon, because I want to get another Army Corps over here. It's just one isn't ready. So, again, fingers crossed. We're going to play it defensive. We have right now only level 1 entrenchment because I've either moved stuff here or I've been reinforcing stuff here, but we still have some amount of entrenchment, which if we stay in the defensive, we could take advantage of. And the fort here looks like it could hold off on its own, at least under 1 assault. The Ottomans are not yet pushed out into any of the British territory, which is good. Alright, so we're rolling through the turn here. It's already past day 4, so I know that my troops arrived at Lodz without issue. I don't know if the enemies retreated or they just let them waltz in without a fight, but I think we're doing pretty well. From what I saw, the overall cohesion of the troops at Lodz is doing terribly, which is good for us, the enemy troops, not our troops. Because, of course, they're trying to attack a place in the winter, the fucking idiots. No one's good at that, historically. Nobody is good at attacking anywhere in the winter, not even the Russians. As much as people like to meme that Russia is amazing in the winter, Russia, just before their little amazing victory in the winter against the Germans, got their asses beat by Finland because they tried to invade somewhere in the winter. Fighting in the winter sucks for everyone, especially when you're on the offensive. It sucks while you're on the defensive too, but by these board game rules, it's worse if you're on the offensive. Much, much worse. Doesn't matter how prepared you are. We're on day 10 with no attacks, meaning any trap that I've set up to attack anyone has not gone through. Alright, well, we do have a battle here. Oh, that's not a very good one, but let me just give an example. Like right here, this is a trap I set up. Whatever unit was here retreated. It's gone. So that's good, I guess. Something happened here. Russian victory battle at Lodz. Someone, a cavalry division arrived here, went on the full assault, and only lost this many troops. I don't even have to read it. And we lost 5,000 troops? That's fucked. You call that a victory? That's Pyrrhic at best. I wouldn't call that a victory, even if we made them run. We even arrived at Rosiena, or whatever the fuck it was called, in the Baltics, and Hindenburg seems to have just bailed. He's not there. He's not defending that spot. He's not going on an offensive. There's someone moving around there. Someone moving around right there, too. You see that? Around one of my traps, but no battle has been procced, meaning they're probably not there yet. Oh, here we go. Oh, God. Oh, God. Rawa Ruska, and we are outmatched in terms of command. This is... Okay, I was hoping to catch one unit here. I didn't realize they were going to move so many troops over here. Troops fighting with a penalty, at least. This is gonna suck. What does the AI recommend? A wave assault. Why? Let's see. Because they have half, exactly half, of our infantry. They have a fraction, 1/3 of our cavalry. We're about even in artillery. So I guess that's a more cautious way to do it, yeah, and it does make more of the advantages we do have without risking all too much. Their position certainly isn't weak, so I'm good with that. I wish I had more options than these, though, but I never seem to have any more. Might just because the Russian leaders are all so shitty. Oh, I'm not excited about this. This could be a big hurt, but this is going to be a big battle nonetheless. Let's... Okay. Okay. It only went one round, so the plan didn't really do anything anyway. But we lost 7,000 troops, 400 cavalry. They lost 350 cavalry, 8,500 troops. That's good. And that's really going to be it for this episode, guys, but I want to leave you with one nice little thing I found. Remember how they were at 206 compared to our 100? Something must have happened on the Western Front, or the losses we inflicted are greater than I thought. Something has happened that has dropped them to 193 land power. That's insane. Can you believe that? That's awesome. I'd love to believe that that's from the Western Front, but it's probably a mixture of both. Either way, man, that makes me happy. It's a good note, at least, to end it on. So, that's how the war's going for right now. We got a whole nother big turn ahead of us with an event. See that? I wonder what that is. But anyway, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below on how this series is going, what you think about the war, any suggestions you might have, any questions you might have. And for now, I'll see you guys on the next one.